It's working. Great. Hello, everyone. So usually when I do talks, I speak about entrepreneurship. I speak about taking risks or some kind of a startup ecosystem. This time, I'm pretty much going on a whole personal level. So I'm speaking about myself, how I leverage my talent. Now, I'm a 25-year-old, so I can't possibly tell you the recipe of how you can leverage your talent. I can just tell you how I kind of figured it out. Now, so I lived in different places. I lived in Asia, where I was in Hong Kong. I was in Kuala Lumpur. I was in Shanghai. Also recently, I lived in Croatia and also in Paris. Now, the good thing is, once you screw up and you get a bad reputation, I could just leave the country, right? No, but in all seriousness, since I always had to change my environment, I quickly had to adapt. And before I knew my talent, I knew my weakness, which brings me to my second point. Know your weakness, in this case, your kryptonite. Now, here's the thing with me. I have the attention span of a goldfish, unfortunately. I would forget anything, what I would do in class. I'd sit there, go in my mind, and then once I'm out of school, no idea what's going on. The good thing is, since I changed every time the schools and the places, I knew exactly what to do. Find the smartest guy in the room, make sure that he helps me, that we kind of got some kind of collaboration going on, and try to get through school, through the class. Now, I'm going to tell you this story because my brother's in the audience, and it's a true story. So every time I would get home with a C, which is like a number 3 in German, I was a rock star at home. So, hey, Julian, way to go. You got a C. Nice, right? Which is mediocre. It's not great. And when my brother would come back home with a B, parents were like, what's going on, Mark? Why you got a B? Why not an A? And my brother would be really pissed off about that. He'd be like, okay, what's going on? Why do I get all the crap for having a B, right? Now, once I realized that I met these incredibly talented people all the time, I had a really cool geek squad, as I would say. I didn't have that only in school, but I also had that during university, and much more importantly, when I started companies. So I started several companies. Some failed, or I'm involved in companies, and some are actually profitable and doing well. And the reason for that is the people I had around me, which were excellent. They were experts, and I'm a bit of a generalist. So, like I said, since I have a really small attention span, it took me a while when I talked to them to understand it. But once if I understood it, I could make anybody understand. That's how it pretty went. We went from the theory to me pitching it to other people, making sure everyone understands our product, what we're doing, and what we're all about. So it went from specializing to generalizing, not really knowing as much as they would, but being able to offer a clear picture. Second thing is, be approachable. I'm extremely approachable. Sometimes I even wonder what kind of people talk to me. I'm like, what? Why are they talking to me? If they're way smarter, they could do much more than me. Obviously, then I just act really cool. So, yeah, talk to me. What's going on? Let me see. I can figure this out. Now, something I learned also working at the American Embassy and with very different people, very interesting people, that if you're approachable, you see so much more of talent. If you lose your arrogantness, you get exposed to so much talent and really interesting people, and you can use that and you can leverage that. So here's the thing. It's super important to discuss ideas. I discuss ideas constantly. My parents are sick of it because they always think, okay, Julian goes again, a new company's on the way, right? But usually I don't do that. You can't just start companies all the time because you have a great idea. But once you talk to a lot of people about your ideas, you get criticized. You understand, okay, I'm talking nonsense again, I'm being ridiculous. Or you understand, I'm onto something, and I've got the right environment to do it. Which brings me to the one important thing. If you know your one strength, you have to be loud and proud about it. Now, in my opinion, my biggest strength is finding talented people. My second biggest strength would be probably creating a product and being able to present it to people. Now, here in my opinion is Richard Branson is a great leader, right? He's really known to be a success story of bringing interesting people together and making awesome, fantastic companies. Steve Jobs, on the other hand, is really known for understanding what people want and bringing it on the market. Fantastic products. So whatever your strength is, whether it's being really funny and releasing people off their stress, if you're great at accounting, Or if you're really good with taxes, speaking of taxes, really good about that, please talk to me later. Got some weird letters coming my way, and I don't know what's going on there. Joking. Leverage it, make sure people know about it, and they will come to you. They will speak with you about it, and you can really understand which way your career will go and which way you should pursue. Great. Thanks, everyone.